Hey, well, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. We wanted to take some time on this beautiful Friday afternoon to really focus a little bit on all the great work and the busy times our fire department has been faced with over the last 2 months. And we know, there's lots of challenges in our community, from homelessness to crime and everything else in between, to the economy and to COVID. But I also know there are heroes in our fire department each and every day that continue to do their job as well. And we know a lot of that often comes in the form of first responding and EMS work, but there's also the bread and butter, actually putting out fires and actually saving lives. And that is what our department has been very, very busy doing. In fact, historically busy doing over December and January, and actually even in February too. But we want to really focus today on just highlighting the almost double normal call volume that our fire rescue saw over the course of December and January. Our fire rescue department responded to, on average, 3 structure fires every day from December to January. That's 106 significant fires in December and 103 in January. These numbers are literally off the charts. And again, compared to last year, it was about, or the year before that, it was about 55 in November, and the month before that, I should say, 55 in November and 73 in October. So this also is capped off by a house literally exploding from a gas leak, of course, in the UNM North area. So some of these fires are also extremely dangerous. And these February numbers do look on track for a little bit of a slowdown to normal. So, knock on wood, we'll get back to a little bit of a normal pace. But we do want to highlight a couple of these stories, and some members from the department are going to speak to this, especially our Fire Chief Dow. But want to mention a couple of things. There was an apartment on Wesley that was on fire. It was a 3-story apartment. And when the AFR arrived, there was a man desperate to get out. He was prepared to jump from the 3rd floor. I think some of you might have seen a few stories on this already. But the teams, they got a ladder up. They literally saved him. And they saved the building and prevented the fire from spreading to nearby apartments and affecting others. They also connected all the residents with Red Cross support. And with all that occurred that day, there were no injuries to our AFR responders as well. So we really just want to recognize AFR's ability to adapt and provide incredible service, and to save lives, protect property, and to maintain standards even when there's things like explosions in the midst of a pandemic. And a lot of that, of course, is due to, of course, the first responders who actually field that, but to the trainers who train them, to the staff that even provides the equipment that they use, and of course to the leadership at the department. And so I want to introduce, to speak more on this, the gentleman at the top, Chief Dow.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a great opportunity for us to just show how our firefighters, that we appreciate them, appreciate the work that they're doing. Like the Mayor said, a very busy December and January for our firefighters. Contrary to what some people in the community may think, our firefighters are not just hanging out, eating and sleeping at the station. They are training and they are responding to calls and saving lives and property. We have an ISO 1 rating in the city of Albuquerque, and that means that our fire department is ranked as high as it possibly can by industry standards. There's only about 300 fire departments in the entire country that have an ISO 1 rating. We have a minimum of 168 firefighters on shift every day, responding out of 22 fire stations. It's a motivated and dedicated workforce. That's something that Fortune 500 companies would love to have, is the people with the dedication to their profession that I'm lucky to have. These firefighters take great pride and personal responsibility in their performance. They worked in freezing temperatures, with wet gear, lack of rest, all under difficult conditions. Each fire response is also very unique and has its own set of dangers. There's always the threat of erratic fire behavior, structural collapse at every single fire scene they go to. In the United States, we lose an average of 100 firefighters every year. So please don't take lightly the risk that these men and women take to keep our community safe. And it's not by luck or by accident our firefighters are so proficient. They work really hard at it. In fact, every firefighter completes over 200 hours of annual fire suppression training. That's not including the medical training, hazardous materials, technical rescue, wildland training. That is just structural firefighting training. 18 hours of that training is at our fire academy. And that's placing ground ladders, that's stretching hose lines, that's doing search and rescue operations. Our battalion chiefs are all blue card certified in incident command. There's over 100 hours of training that they have to complete, along with continuing education hours to manage and supervise those structure fires and large events. Our firefighters are really competitive. Any of you that know any of our firefighters in the community. So each station is also competitive. They like to make sure they can try to do a little better than the other fire station next to them. And that goes along with the training that they do. For example, Station 11 rescued a man during a fire like the mayor had mentioned. 3-story apartment building, very risky, difficult rescue to get that ladder in place quickly so that gentleman did not jump out that 3-story window and injure or kill himself. That didn't happen by accident. That happened because that station trains. They train often, and they make sure they're prepared for when those tones go off. Really proud of the members of Albuquerque Fire Rescue. This is my opportunity to brag about the work that they do. I see it on a regular basis. Our firefighters see the effort they put into it. It's important for our community to see those efforts as well. Like Mayor mentioned, we were averaging 3 structure fires a day in December and January, up from the normal that we had. One of the people I want to recognize is our Deputy Chief of Operations. So I have 6 deputy chiefs. I have 1 deputy chief that actually manages the entire field. That's over 560 members out in the field. That's 3 shifts, 12 battalion chiefs. Every large incident that goes on in the city of Albuquerque, that Albuquerque Fire Rescue responds to, structure fires, large incidents, this deputy chief responds. He's basically never off duty. Every time there's a large incident, he listens to that radio. If they need him, he's at the scene, and more often than not, he is at the scene of those incidents. In my entire career, I have never seen a man more dedicated to helping firefighters than Deputy Chief Sean Elks. He does an outstanding job. He responds to scenes, sometimes purchasing food for the guys on scene with his own money, making sure they have what they need. He's a great example of what leadership looks like, and I am proud to have him on my staff. Chief Elks, thank you so much for what you do. So that's all we have. Any questions? No? Okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks, you guys. Great job. Yeah, we appreciate all the work each and every day.